Hey everybody, it's tafony here once again. Hope you're doing well. Today we are rambling about the Arcane Devices Caress of Stars. I have the prototype in front of me, a 48 HP 1U Eurorack sequencer. It sounds like this. Okay, before we get started today, the housekeeping is making a return for the first time in a long time. Arcane Devices sent me this Caress of Stars prototype that you see in front of you, but to be totally clear, this isn't sponsored or anything like that. I even had to pay my own money to clear this out of customs to get it into Canada, so they didn't pay me. I'm actually paying, you know, customs, not them, but they asked me if I wanted to do a video on it, and I was super down. Since the start of this channel, I've been asking manufacturers to lend me modules for episodes, because obviously this show is a huge expense, and now the used market, at least where I am, is basically frozen. But I've never really had any luck with any of that other than the Floating Knobs Cuisine, and now the Arcane Devices Caress of Stars, which I thank both of you very much for doing so. I don't do this for the money, obviously. I don't make any money off of this. I do it because I'm super passionate about synthesizers, about Eurorack, all of that stuff, but I've always thought it'd be amazing to get my hands on some modules that I wouldn't otherwise be able to cover. Anyhow, Arcane Devices reached out to me, surprisingly, with this new sequencer, Caress of Stars, and asked if I would be interested in doing an episode on it. I said I would be happy to, as long as I could say honestly how I felt about it, be truthful about it in my video, and they said of course. But if I'm being transparent, I do feel some pressure to do it justice for doing so. I feel some obligation to spend some more time, put some more depth into it that I wouldn't necessarily with other things that I'm putting my own money in debt towards. This one, I feel like I need to cover it in more depth. So yes, we hope we're going to do that today. Maybe I wouldn't do that to this degree that I would other modules, but I just want to be fully upfront, transparent about all that. So with that, an important note, this is a prototype. I understand they're calling it a release candidate, I believe. Just to say, this hardware may change and the software will certainly change. There was an update between when they shipped it to me and when I racked it up here, which I've ran. You can do so by using the top right input jack, using TRS or TS, depending on your interface cables, to run the sound file, basically like you would a mutable instruments module. But just to say, maybe the community, including myself, I'm going to be sending some things that I'd love to see. Maybe we can get involved in shaping how the final product looks. And furthermore, this is going to launch via Kickstarter, and as always with crowdfunding, there is some extra risk involved in that compared to buying a finished product, maybe from a dealer with a return window. You're putting your money down before it's ready to ship. That said, I don't personally have any doubts on their ability to ship and support the final product. I mean, I have one in front of me, so obviously I'm biased in that way, but do keep in mind there's some added risk there. Having said all that, I think we can get a solid idea of what the sequencer has to offer, what its general workflow is going to look like, even if it's going going to evolve between now and the final product. I will remind everyone, as always, that no two musicians have the same needs and preferences. While I'm a devoted screen fan, which the Caress of Stars lacks, I get comments constantly about how lots of you hate screens, lots of you don't want to see any screens on any modules in your rack. This is how I feel about button combos, which there are lots of today, but I just point this all out to say it doesn't make one module better or worse than another. It's just what's going to fit your needs, your preferences, and your workflow. So all of that context out of the way, let's get started. Okay, Caress of Stars, let's go through the panel. So if there is a defining feature on here, I would say, or what makes it super unique, it would be this touch strip on here, which can be used for entering beats, steps, editing those steps later on, running arpeggios and similar stuff in the CV gate mode, which we'll get into all of that in a bit. But that is really what makes this thing so unique and what I would say makes it so nice to be in 1U panel. This is obviously higher than a 3U module would probably fit. Super cool, super fun, super performative. Then there's this huge array of, at least at writing, these buttons, which are sort of the ones you would see on a pocket operator. I'm trying to get them in the camera as best we can, but they're all sort of labeled with different functions and button combos that are often with this alternative key or the home key. We'll get into that as we go. There's also these 3 rows of LEDs, which are the data row, the step row, and the function row in the bottom. There's a lot of blinking of lights on here with, like I said, lack of screen. Things are kind of telegraphed to you through these blinking things. Like right now, I'm standing on the gate mode because it is blinking in purple, but if I hit the home button, I can sort of get out into the more general sequencer view. Switching between channels through this one, right? Pink is indicating channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, but I'm going to get into the minutia of all of the sequencer stuff in a moment once we're done going through the panel. Now on the top right here, we have step input, which I think of like a clock input. There's the reset input, which is like for external clocking reset. Then these 2 unlabeled jacks, which are currently not used in the firmware, but are going to be assignable step inputs. I don't know if that's going to be for some unique clocking or different divisions. You can do different divisions of the sequence on here using the divide function, but maybe later on you can do some cool manual triggering or unique stuff, but not used for anything outside of firmware updates currently. And then the bottom 4 outputs here in my current mode are going to be used for triggers, but if you use CV gate pairs, they're going to alternate. I understand there is basically a key plan to do an expander for this one, so I don't know if they're going to get up to 4 different channels, up to 8 different channels. It might be CV gate pairs. I'm not sure. To extend it currently, if you want to switch through the modes, which I'll talk about in just a moment, you're going to be sacrificing one of your outputs to do a CV gate pair, or you can choose CV or all gates, which is generally where I'm going to land, but we'll talk about that in a little moment. We have, first on the right, this home button with the LED over here for page. So just like an Electron sequencer, if you have all the way up to the maximum sequence length, you'll be jumping through pages so you don't use your step-by-step fidelity on the screen here with the LED indicator. So I've got 4 channels here hooked up of drum voices so we can demonstrate a quick sequence. We have Ultra Kick here, then the Ultra Perk. We have Metalloid Percussion Entity A and B. So there is a number of button combos to get into the internal clocking, which is generally, I like to have my sequencer be like the master clock, or I don't like to externally clock it necessarily. I don't necessarily run PAMS Pro as the master clock. In this case, I would prefer my sequences to define what the song is like. So on Caress of Stars, you can start the internal clock by holding the home and pressing the next button. And because I'm on the home view, I guess you could call it, you can see I have triggers 4 on the floor for this first channel, which we're looking at here in pink, and it is in gate mode as indicated by that pink LED. So I'm going to stop that right now. One thing I do wish there's no manual entry of the BPMs at writing. Maybe they have some, I don't know, unique way of doing digit by digit, kind of like the Percons does, if you're familiar with that. But right now it's only done via tap tempo, which is kind of unfortunate, but if you are an external clock person, that'll be no issue for you. But you can enter the tap tempo in manually by hitting next, and if you hold home and press step, you can do some tap tempo in. Speed it up. Yeah, I think I've accidentally entered a trigger there, but that's okay. Again, this is where I wish we had screens because it'd be a lot easier to see what your BPM was set to if you just had one encoder to scroll up or down. That is my preference. But as always, these things are a trade-off. But it is really cool what they were able to pack into 1U for sure. If I hold home and press next again, we'll pause our sequence. I think it's an important place to start with the different channel modes so we can talk about what this thing does. So there's 3 modes. There's CV channel, if you hold gate and press the channel of your choice. The first LED just over channel 1 means you're in CV channel, so this can output continuous for like modulation or quantize voltages if you have your triggers coming from elsewhere. If you are holding the gate, press it again. We have the LED over channel 1 and over the gate. Now we have a gate channel, so it says gate channels are suitable for programming drums or other non-pitched events. This is where I generally see myself staying for all 4 channels, but there is also another mode where if we press it again, where there's these 2 LEDs and you have a combined channel. So a combined channel links together 2 channels into a CV gate pair. So you do, like I said, you're giving up a output, right? So you could do 2 channels or 2 channels of percussion and 1 CV gate pair, but just know you are giving up one of your outputs. So it says a combined channel links together 2 channels into a CV gate pair. This mode is suitable for programming more traditional pitched events, in parentheses, musical notes. When 2 neighboring channels are combined, both their LEDs are lit. The odd number channel's output will carry the pitch voltage, and the consecutive even number channel it's paired with will be used for gate. So that would be the second one here. So putting those back in, I am not going to start in that mode, though. We are going to go back to the gate, press channel 1 again, get it back into this. So there's a couple ways to enter notes here. If we hold home and press next, the internal clock is going, and we can just manually enter. And I would also say be wary of this because it doesn't lock it out in any way. If you accidentally touch this, well, we've added a trigger, which is okay in my demonstration, but be careful not to press the crest of stars and add your own triggers. But here we go. Let's do some manual triggers here. Yeah. And honestly, when we were talking about this before I got it, I didn't really like look at the sequencer as like a super live finger drummy tap in your own groove sort of thing. But when I'm meshing with it now, I find like that's the most fun that you have on here, right? You can do step sequencing, obviously, and I'm going to demonstrate all of that. But getting on here and just banging in triggers, I really like that. So I'm going to go over to channel 2 now by pressing the channel 2 button. You can see we've selected channel 2 as indicated by the purple here, and it is in gate mode as indicated by that purple here. Now you can go in and do the other way of editing, which is the step editing. So I'll press step edit. Now the step edit is blinking, and I can either tap in steps using the touch strip, which is really nice, or press it down here to corresponding buttons. It doesn't make much of a difference. So being that this is the second trap for snares, I'm going to look at these little white divider lines. We'll throw a snare on the, 5th and 12th bar. If we do our button combo for start again, again, it's really hands-on here. I can just come in here and throw some live triggers. The way you edit it isn't predefined, so if I come in now, if I press step, I'm in step edit mode, I can take out some of these triggers without manually triggering it, right? Or a combination of both. Okay, I would definitely want to, throw a snare on my first beat, then I'll hit home to exit the step edit mode, and I'll just throw in some other trigs. One thing to show though, because these are gates, they can span multiple bars. So if I pause this for a second, I'll go into step, delete these triggers. You can have them remain open. So if I hit home to exit out of the step edit, and we'll start playing. And if I do a live recording where I hold it down, it can do multiple, right? So something like the Ultra Perk, probably not shown as much, but if you're entering some melodies, which we will in a little bit, gonna make more of a difference. So let's go back and step edit. I'm gonna clear these out. See that? The touch strip is special, right? Like the removal of those just with a nice sweep, super fancy. If I come in here and we'll just add a bunch of random triggers. These kind of syncopated grooves are where I'm gonna find myself landing. But if I don't like what I've done, another button combo, hit home. So now that we're here, if we want to clear out this track we don't like, there's a clear button here. So we hold clear, press 2, it's all gone. And I know that seems really stupid to point out, but like sometimes on sequencers, clearing tracks is an easy thing to do. They've often hidden it behind things with the intentions that you won't accidentally delete it. But for me, sometimes if I want to be grooving live, I want to, have the ability to get back to 0 quickly. Or maybe I'm recalling a project from last time I boot up the device. It's not hard to get to. these are the joys of hardware. Sometimes there's some really bizarre workflows that are not present on this one, which I really appreciate. So let's get back in. I'll pause it for a second. Let's go over to our third channel and start to add. Sorry, again, remember, with the home button, we are out of that step edit view that I was just in, and now we can use the channels. And maybe that's a reason as well to, if you're doing your step editing, probably use the touch strip so you don't do what I just did, right? If I'm using something that has other functions with these buttons, you're probably better off just manually entering them, because in the step view, you can come in here and edit steps this way, never making the mistake that I just did. So again, press that home button, clear channel 2, I'll get it back into step mode, I'll throw a couple triggers down, hit play. You can extend the overall gate length too as well, and it is per channel if that is your fancy. For simplicity today, I'm just going to stick on one page. For one, let's get in, pause that for a second, go over to channel, oh, I did it again, see? Pressing the home, remember, go over here to channel 3, we'll get back into step edit. I'm going to do a bunch of triggers here because we're getting into sort of a hi-hat voice, hit play. I wasn't intending to go kind of like hip-hop groove, but we're here. Channel 4 now. See, I did it again. Turn that trigger on, press home, sketch. Remember, always hit home, press 4, channel 4. Manual triggers. So yeah, we have a groove here. And to spice it up, basically, because we have one bar of techno looping, one thing I love to do, that I love to do on Electron boxes as well, mutes. So they have a unique way of doing it here where they don't immediately mute, and at first I thought that was really annoying because I'm like, why is it blinking? Why doesn't it mute? Well, you have to hit it a second time. And at first I thought that was really annoying, but this kind of negates the need for mute groups. What you can do is do performance mutes, basically, where, okay, I want to duck 2 channels out. Well, in comes 2. Here in comes 1. Then we'll bring 2 more in. So those are queued up because they're blinking. Hit mute. Go into the next channel. So it's queued up because it's not blinking, it's solid. But the channel 1 is blinking, so it won't change, but now we hit mute. So, you know, I'm building up to a drop, right? And now I'll bring in my kick. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've queued up a mute group, I'm going to call it. They don't call it that, but maybe they will. We'll bring it in here. Yeah, this stuff I really enjoy. There's recall as well. I don't know if the end product is going to go for like a project workflow where they can save it into all these different slots, but I'm be curious to see how that all goes. And because I think most of my drum voices are expecting trigger sequences, not gates, you do get control over the gates as well if that's something that applies to you. If we hit home here in channel 4, if I press gate, now you can see how long you want the gates to be. If I increase them all the way or make them really short. Oh, doing them really short does actually change it a bit. Get up to first one. I think most of my drum voices are expecting triggers, so it's not going to make a ton of difference, but it is another performance tool as well when you're on the fly here to just come in here and do that. If I can say one thing as well, and I was hesitant whether to bring this up or not, these LEDs are a little sharp, so with your finger, you probably don't want to be dragging it right in front of them. You probably don't have fat fingers like I do, but yeah, it is a little sharp. If you're going to be doing performance slides, try and do it like on the top side so you don't slice up your fingies. Okay, I'm going to go back to home again, and I'll do that. If you do step editing, if you pause, you can go next and previous manually, or prior they call it. So you can step through your sequence this way, and you can actually hear it being auditioned on the channel we're standing on. So if you really wanted the XOX style, it's on here. For me, if you see the grid, I don't see why you wouldn't just tap them in yourself. But some people really love the XOX style sequencing, and I appreciate that. But the cool thing is, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but if you hold down home, press next, start the live clock. You can sort of do your own manual stuttering by pressing the prior button. Now, you have to do it on time. Don't do like I just did, but if we do 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a... I don't know if this is a bug, but I really like doing it. And it's extending your bar length, I guess, but in a short bar like this, I really love it. Do it on time, though. Don't do it guided. Yeah. Okay, let's go over the other channel modes as well. We are looking at channel 4. I'm going to hit play. So I sacrificed one of my drum voices to make this happen, but we still have our kick, our snare, and one of the Metaloid voices going. I've connected the last output here to the cutoff in a filter overall, just so it's really apparent what we are doing. What we can do here is enter some stuff manually in the same way we enter triggers, but this time it's all for CV. It's not a pair, it's just for modulation in this case, so let's do just that. And I think it's fun to just have some sort of almost random modulation for those filters that are on your entire sequence. So if I hit play, home, next, I'm just going to enter some random step sequence, kind of like something I would do on the voltage block. And if we hold it, it'll go for multiple steps as well. So it's jumping right now. But I could also smooth this out. Right? And this is all stepped in. I didn't realize it was going to show me what my modulation is doing on here. That's really cool. Yeah. And again, as a performance tool, okay, we've got like a bridge, right? But I can clear this now. Go back to like a B part, right? Okay, now if I want to do step editing for this though, I believe I can do so all the same. So if I go step by step, I'm going to step through the sequence manually with the prior next buttons, get up to the beginning. Let's say the first step, I want to be here. The next step, I want to be here. Next step, I want to be there. Next step here. Next step there. I think this is going to be crazy fast. Let's find out. Yeah. Well, that's cool. And then if we go forward a couple steps, we'll do this one here. Next, do a little higher. Next, I'm kind of drawing in my own manual LFO, but hit play, and you can watch how you've sequenced that in, right? And this is where I'm like very eager for the expander, because honestly, like, that's a really, really easy way to do modulation. And I like it. Now, do I want to give up one of my trigger tracks? No, 4 is pretty low, I'd say, for a drum sequence, at least in my mind, but I really like this as modulation source, and I'm almost like, do you use it alongside another sequencer, have that be your trigger sequencer or gate sequencer, and then use these modulations? Because that was so easy to do, right? And again, clear, and I'll just draw it in manually. Like, I've tried a lot of knob recorders and stuff, and I was always like, oh, I don't know, like, it's all super unintuitive and finicky and hard to get in the clock and stuff, but given that this is already in its own clock because it is a sequencer, like, it's just so easy to draw your own modulation that way. I really appreciate that. Clearing that out, let's try and do CV gate pair as well, then I'd say. So let's go over to channel 3. We are going to sacrifice one of our voices, but I'm wondering if that workflow is going to be as nice as that was for modulation. Let's go over here into channel 3. Again, hold the gate, press the 3. Now we are doing a pair as well, so we'll hit home. And then I will take out my filter mod, and I believe, as they said, this will be the gate. And I'm going to do the qubit surface just for fun. And this will be the volt per octave, I believe. I might have that backwards, but we're going to find out. So I'll hit home. So let's hit play. And then I'm just going to try and do the live record again. I don't think that's quantized, but I'm also pretty surprised how easy that was to enter. So if I hit scale now, press scale to enter scale selection. To set the scale, press and drag on the slider either left or right. The initial touch position determines the root note, with each LED value equivalent to a half step. So, oh, okay. Oh, it's like a keyboard on there. Interesting. Okay. So now, does that apply to the notes that I entered? Okay, I see. This is like a keyboard, right? So if I hold scale, I'm starting on this note, and then we'll add, right. Left is chromatic. Here, let's try and go clear. Channel 3, start anew. Okay, let's try a new live sequence, see if that is quantized in. Hit home. Oh, interesting. So what, on the fly, I don't think it was quantized, like when I triggered it in, but after, when it came around. Oh, it's so easy to enter sequences. Man, listen to that. I do wonder if there's going to be a song mode coming, or a like A part, B part, because I'm already like, okay, that's my verse, and I want to write the next part. If that is a thing that comes later on, I will be super excited. So let's go clear and enter that one more time. Again, just a prototype. Oh. I really enjoyed that. If I change this now, I'll change on the fly. That's the only thing I'm not sure. So from my reading of the prototype manual, I believe it's minor to the left and pentatonic to the right. But then, isn't it? So you either get every note or you get minor pentatonic. I don't know. It sounds good though. So there's also a divide function. If we hit play, I am in the divide view for channel 3 and 4. If I bring my division way up, we have divided it out of existence, but if we can use it as a performance thing, yeah. Maybe I'll go over to channel 1, hit home, channel 1, back into divide. I would love to see a fill function as well, actually. Because I always want to multiply the sequence, not divide it, right? There's also loop, and you can extend the length of each different channel by pressing home and alternative, and that will extend the page length. So now we can get all the way up to 4 pages worth here. I'm going to step edit and cycle through the pages by pressing the home key now. I wonder if there's a way to, so one thing I'll say, we have a live sequence going, I'm adding in triggers, but it's triggering the actual voice while I'm doing it. I would like to see that not happen. I just want to enter my triggers and have them play once the playhead, if you call that cursor. I would like to wait till that happens. But again, very early days, I feel like it's just something I'd like to see. Yeah. So Crest of Stars, I'm having a ton of fun with this one. They were sort of talking about the focus being on step sequencing, and I'm kind of like, the live recording playability of it is like so much fun, especially when it comes to like doing those fills, just tapping in sequences that way. It reminds me almost of, dare I say, the Electribe EMX, where it had that touch strip to enter arpeggios. I really dig that here. It's a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to see where it goes. So I'm Tafony. If you have any questions about Crest of Stars or anything, maybe leave a comment. I am happy to reach out to the developer with them for you, or maybe we can test out how things work on this prototype, see where things are at, what you would like to see. All right, I'm Tafony. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I will see you in the next video. Take care.